कलये सुंदराकारं सदैव प्रियदर्शनम् अज्ञाननाशकं देवं सद्गुरुं मुरलीधरं मुरलीधरमूर्ति की जय, सद्गुरु महाराज की जय. By the divine grace of the beloved Guru Maharaj and the divine couple Madhuri Sakhi Sameta Premi Gadadharan Thakurji, we are into the 6th day of our Ramayana Katha. The main reason of Sri Ramavataram is Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So Bhagavan, all the avatars are for the establishment of Dharma, and if you see in Srimad Ramavataram or in Srimad Ramayanam, the purpose of Sri Ramavataram is to show all the Dharma that needs to be followed. Just not by establishing Dharma, he shows us the way in which the Dharma should be followed. And that is why Ayodhya also mentions Manisarkai Padadana Bhattu. So he underwent a lot of hardships, lot of difficulties. Just for establishing Dharma, Bhagavan doesn't need to leave a sweat at all. It's just easy. As Bhagavan is capable of just creating this universe just by thinking that the universe should be created. It is mentioned as Soka Mayada Bahusyam Praja Ye, just the thought that I should create the world and I should create all the beings in this world, that is enough for entire creation. And the entire creation is the thought process of Bhagavan. So he is just thinking and immediately creation happens. He is just having a thought, immediately the creation is sustained, and immediately he is having a thought, so he is taking it back. So all this can be done by Bhagavan just by sankalpam, just by his thought, and that being the case, eliminating Ravana won't be difficult for Bhagavan. Just by thinking that Ravana should be eliminated, it can be done at that moment. But Bhagavan is also respecting Ravana. Why? Because, as I told in the first day itself, the penance and the effort that Ravana took was for 11,000 years. So, if you see the amount of days or years that Ramachandra Prabhu was there in this world, was also 11,000 years. So, in order to equating, so see how much tapas did Ravana has done. He has done tapas for 11,000 years, and to nullify it, Bhagavan need to be in this world for 11,000 years. But that is not so. But the important priority, the reason for Bhagavan being in this world for 11,000 years is to show us all the Dharma. So, all the characters, all the people, whomever are part of Ramayana, whether they may be a detailed part or whether they may be in very short portion, each and every person teaches us a lesson. So that's why it is Manisarkai Padadana Bhattu. And that Padadana Bhattu, the hardships that he underwent starts from Ayodhya Kandam. So yesterday we stopped at a place where Kaikeyi got her two boons, that Bharata should be made the king and Ramachandra Prabhu should go to the forest for 14 years. So, இரண்டு ஆண்டில்பாய் என்று இயம்பினன் அரசன் என்றார். So, this is what the boon of Kaikeyi was, and immediately adhering to it, Ramachandra Prabhu starts to the forest. First, he needs to convince a lot of people first, because the decision that was made by Dasharatha Maharaja was a public decision. It is not meant to a particular family or between two people. So, the decision that was made for the entire kingdom there, and the situation where this decision came to place or this decision was forged was during the coronation of Ramachandra Prabhu. So next day he should be coronated. So all the arrangements are being made for that, and in this juncture such a situation, such an incident happens, and this one is not pre-planned according for anybody, and particularly for Ramachandra Prabhu. So in this situation also he didn't worry or he didn't show any sorrow, and he accepted the decision and he is further proceeding what he should be doing. So that being the case, first he got the news from Kaikeyi Mata, and now he is going to see his own mother Kausalya Devi. But Kausalya Devi on the other hand, she is expecting Ramachandra Prabhu that he will be coming after being coronated. So she is making all arrangements for that. If you see, she is got ready a Purna Kumbam to welcome him. So Aarti has been got ready. So all the people in Kausalya's chamber are really happy and excited to welcome Ramachandra Prabhu, because as per the schedule of what are the events that will happen today, Ramachandra Prabhu will be reaching Kausalya's Anthapuram after the coronation. So she is expecting him in such a way. So that is beautifully depicted in Kamba Ramayanam. Udaikindra Kavariyindri கொற்ற வெண்குடையும் இன்றி இழைக்கின்ற விதிமுன் செல்ல தருமம் பின் இறங்கியேக மழை குன்றம் அணையான் மௌலி கவிந்தனன் வரும் என்று என்று தழைக்கின்ற உள்ளத்து அன்னார் முன் ஒரு தமியன் சென்றான். So the state of Kausalya Devi is explained in a single word. தழைக்கின்ற உள்ளத்து அன்னார். So Kausalya is so excited and so happy that she is speaking with the people in her chamber and to Sumitra that when Ramchandra Prabhu is entering, first there will be a big elephant, then there will be lot of horses, then there will be lot of security, so there will be singing continuum for Ramchandra Prabhu. So there will be two people holding Samaram, one person will be holding a Venkodai. So all these things are being spoken by her and the enthusiasm is shown, Adekindra Ullat, and this is what she is. So my son is going to come in such a way, so my son is going to do it. That is her expectation, but the opposite happens. So it is mentioned Adekindra Kavari Indri. So there is no Kodai at all, there is no umbrella at all. So there is no Venkodai is missing. Kotra Venkudayum Indri, so the Chamarams are missing. Adekindra Vidimun is a beautiful description of Kamba where he says that fate is going in front of Ramchandra Prabhu and Dharma is following him, it seems. Idekindra Vidi Munsella Dharmam Pin Irangi Ega, and Dharma is going in such a way. So the body language of Dharma Deva, because if you see, fate and Dharma both can't be seen. They are abstract, they don't have form. And he beautifully describes by mentioning Idekindra Vidi Munsella. Though Ramachandra Prabhu is so powerful, though Ramachandra Prabhu is Sakshat Bhagavan, but even when he is born in this world, that fate becomes more powerful itself. So that is why if you see in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that all the reason for the difficulties that you had, Bhishma is mentioning to Pandavas that Sarvam Kalakritam Manye, so all is time. So time can be equated to Vidhi and Vidhi can be equated to Bhagavan himself. Even Ramchandra Prabhu is going to speak after a few chapters, he is going to speak the same thing to Lakshmana also. So the Vidhi is so powerful and it can't be won or it can't be defeated. So that being the case, Idekindra Vidhi Munsella. So the Vidhi, the fate is pushing Ramachandra Prabhu from the coronation position and it is taking him to the forest. So immediately who should be happy? When there is a place in Ayodhya Kandam where immediately Ravana abducts Sita Devi, Devas are happy. Devas are happy. Why? Because what they planned for is going to happen. Just when Ravana touched Sita Devi, from that moment onwards, and the end of that chapter, if you see in Valmiki Ramayana, it is mentioned as Swartha Vadhaya Ravana. It is been done because that is his fate. It is been done. Why Ravana has been forced? Why Ravana has been brought to this place? Because this is the reason for his death. So Swartha Vadhaya Ravana. So likewise, when Sita Devi is abducted, since the prayers and the wishes of Devas are going to happen, they felt happy. But if you see here, so it is Dharma Devata who is following Ramachandra Prabhu, but here she is not happy. Where Ramachandra Prabhu is going to do Dharma Samsthapanam because of going to the forest. So it is beautifully depicted that Dharmam Pin Irangi Ega. So the body language of Dharma Devata is such that it is pleading to Ramachandra Prabhu that for protecting me, why are you going to undergo these hardships? So it is not needed at all. So, why are you going to undergo several hardships? It is very much evident. So, it is forcing Ramachandra Prabhu to not go out of Ayodhya. So, Dharmam Bin Irangi Ega, Madai Kundram, Anayan Mauli, he doesn't have a crown there. And Ramachandra Prabhu is going in a way, Uru Tamiyan Sentran. So, he is going, he alone is going. So, no one is there with him. So, he has stopped all the people who followed him. So, everything is being stopped. So he alone, he is entering, and when he is entering Kausalya Devi's chamber, he is having a lot of sorrow, he is having a heavy heart there. So it is mentioned, Dharayan Manasa Dukham Indriyani Nigrishyacha Pravivesha Atma Anveshna Madhura Priya Samshivan, whomever it may be. Whether they may be the greatest of jnanis and greatest of sadhus, but in front of the mother is the place where they can be open and they can be free. And that is the emotion that comes out at that position. So even when it is Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada, whether they is somewhere traveling near Himalayas, when the mother is in her last moment, he immediately rushes there. So whoever it may be, they may be so great, they may be great jnanis, they may be realized people, they may be realized souls, but in front of a mother. So So it is asked in Mahabharatam that yaar romba periyava. So edu bhumiya kaattilum periyadu is what the question that Yaksha posed Dharmaputra, and he says it is the mother. So she is more greater than the earth, she is more greater than the mountains. So whatever we consider great, one step above that is what the mother's position is. So when Ramachandra Prabhu needs to convey this news to her mother, he is feeling a lot of sorrow inside. Not because that he is going to the forest. Those things are already mentioned that he is happy going to the forest, so his face reactions show that. But when he is entering her mother's place, mother's chamber, Dharayan Manasa Dukkham, he is holding the Dukkham. And whenever he is going to see the mother there and look at her situation, she is really happy and she is excited, and it is entirely the trouble is going to change now. So Ramachandra Prabhu feels lot of sorrow, Indriyani Nigrihya. When he is entering itself, he gets tears in his eyes because he is having a feeling how will the mother accept this situation, what will be her reaction, what will be her emotions. So Indriyani Nigrihya. Though he has controlled all his senses, and Pravivesha Atmavan. So the person who is entering inside is a Jnani itself is him. So Pravivesha Atmavan Peshma and all these things, entire situation of Ramachandra Prabhu correlates here. Madhura Priya Samshivan. In what way I can convey this sorrow news? Apriya Samshivan. This is not a happy news. This is a sad news, and it should be conveyed to Kausalya Devi. So Ramachandra Prabhu, which is head down, and Lakshmana is following him. Lakshmana Alvar is following him, and here only Lakshmana Alvar is going to show who he is really. So when Ramachandra Prabhu enters, and Kausalya Devi is really happy, and she immediately brings aarti, she immediately brings a lot of fruits, she brings paneer. So all these things are brought, and Ramachandra Prabhu, which is head down, he is entering inside Kausalya Devi's chamber. Kausalya is really happy. And Satyam Pradikyam Vitaram Rajanam Pashya Radhava Adyaivatvam Sadharmatma Yovarajye Abhishekshati. She is praising Dasharatha. She is mentioning Satya Pradikyam Vitaram. Look at the truth or the righteousness that our father follows. Satya Pradikyam. So whatever he has taken or whatever instruction he has given, so he follows according to it. So Satyam Pradikyam Vitaram Rajanam Pashya Radhava. That is very evident, and it is happening in this situation also. Adyaivatvam Sadharma Atma Yovarajye Abhishekshati. So he has planned, he has mentioned it yesterday, and he is executing it today. So I am really happy for it. And she tells Ramachandra Prabhu that I expected you after the coronation. So you have come before. So it is also, I am very happy for that. And from yesterday you are undergoing a lot of vratas, so that you wouldn't have eaten properly. So that being the case, let you have some fruits or a little bit of milk, so that the process of coronation will take a lot of time. And look at the love she is pouring on Ramachandra Prabhu. And immediately when she is speaking these words with Ramachandra Prabhu, immediately Sumitra Devi comes with fruits that has been cut, and she is bringing it in a vessel. And in between these two people's, two persons' love, Ramachandra Prabhu is feeling a heavy heart, and how can he convey this news to these two mothers? And he somehow with his hands he is trying to convey it, somehow through his body language he is trying to convey it, but the love and happiness and the excitement they share overpowers all of these emotions, and he is just waiting, he is not able to speak. And immediately Sumitra Devi mentions Ramachandra Prabhu to sit in one of the chairs that is being there, or asanam that is being there, and it is a simhasana. So that being the case, immediately Ramachandra Prabhu hesitates, and he feels this is the right time to mention it. And he mentions Vriddhanam Dharmashilanam Rajarshinam Mahatmanam Prapushya Ayushya Dharmam Chapinchitam Kule. When he is hesitating at that moment, correctly Kausalya Devi is doing Mangala Shasanams here. She is mentioning Vriddhanam Dharmashilanam. In few more minutes, in few more hours, you are going to be coronated. And now I bless you that after being coronated as the king, you should rule the kingdom how the earlier people in our lineage, earlier kings in our lineage ruled this kingdom, the same way should follow. So that being the case, Vriddhanam Dharmashilanam. And specifically if you note this word, it is Vriddhanam Dharmashilanam. All the people in Surya Vamsha are Dharmatmas. But the way in which she is mentioning here is Vriddhanam Dharmashilanam. How? So what dharma the old kings of Surya Vamsha will follow, you follow that dharma. So if you see, after ruling, when they will be coronated when they are young and they become old, they will be going to the forest, going to do tapas. And when the association is of great Mahatmas and people who follow dharma, the words they speak also will be according to the situation. So if you see, initially when Dasharatha was mentioning to Ramachandra Prabhu that I will be coronating you tomorrow, there is one statement mentioned by Dasharatha that tomorrow is your nakshatram, Pushya nakshatram, Punarvasu nakshatram, and the forests, I could feel that all the flowers in the forests are blossoming. This is the term that is mentioned by Dasharatha unknowingly, and he himself thinks, why am I mentioning this? And if you see, the thing has happened. The story moves in such a way. So, the primary reference for sadhus and mahatmas is their heart and the nature. So, that being the case, it will be according to the situation what is going to happen or what prevails. So, she is mentioning Vriddhanam Dharmashilanam. So, unknowingly she is mentioning that you should follow the dharma of old kings of Surya Vamsha, that is Vardhakye Munivrittina. So after ruling the kingdom, after finishing all their responsibilities, they give it to their son and they go to the forest. That is what old kings. But now she is doing that Mangala Shasanams for Ramachandra Prabhu. Unknowingly, he is going to go to the forest. That is the news he is going to convey. And when he is asked to sit in that Simhasana, he mentions this asana is not for me. This is not there for me for 14 years. So immediately, Kausalya Devi is having a, why are you mentioning such things? Vrishtarasana yogyohi Kalo yammam upasthidaha gamishye dandakaranyam kim anena asanena me. So this simhasanam, this golden asanam or silver asanam, these asanas are not there for me. I have lost that for 14 years. So my asanam is darbhasana. I am going to sit in an asanam made of grass, and that is the one, that is the suitable one for me as I am going to the forest. Gamishye dandakaranyam kim anena asanena me. So Father has separated the kingdom into two parts. So one is the kingdom and other is the forest. And he has given me the forest region to me and the kingdom region to Bharata. So Bharata is going to rule the kingdom for 14 years and I am going to the forest. This is what Father has asked me. So immediately when Kausalya hears these words, tears shed from her eyes, her body is shivering, she is shaking. And immediately she starts to cry, Mamaiva Noonam Maranam Na Vidyate Na Chavakashosti Yamakshage Mama Yadantapo Adyevanamam Jihishati Rahasya Simho Rudati Nriviva Mamaiva Noonam Maranam Na Vidyate. If after hearing such a news, even if I am still alive, then where is the time for me to go to death? That is what she asks. Mamaiva noonam maranam na vidyate. After listening these things, that you will be going to the forest and you will be suffering there for 14 years, still my heart, it is still beating. It should have stopped, right? It should have stopped on hearing this news itself. Na chavakasosti yamakshaye mama. Why Yamadharmaraja is he so compassionate towards me? I think this is the right time for me to lose my life. Because since I have heard this news, then that shows that I don't have true love towards you. But your விஷயத்தை கேட்டுட்டு still I am alive means, then what can I call about my heart? So I think it is so hard as a diamond or a stone. Sthiram hirunam hridayam mamayasam na vidyate yat bhurino vidyate. Why it is still not shattered into pieces? Anena dukkhena cha dehamarpitam dhruvam hyakale maranam na vidyate. Now I understand that only in the exact time that has been written for Maranam to happen, at that time only it will happen. I am having that feeling now because Dhruvam Hyakalo Maranam na Vidyate. Akalatla Marana Varas. So I think this is not the time, I think. But I feel that Yama should come and take my life. Or else is me, am I so interested in my life? Still to live. So Yadantako Adyevanamam Jihishati Rahasya Simho. Even I have the interest to live further. Let Yamadharmaraja come at this time. Take my life like how a lion will be grabbing a goat as its prey. So she is mentioning, let him not show compassion to me. Generally we say that Yama doesn't have compassion. So Yamasya karuna nasti, but she is feeling that Yama is having karuna now on her, as yet her life has not fallen off. Athapi kim jivita madhyame vritha tvaya vina chandra nibhana na prabha. Till now, because for several years they have been suffering and with the sorrow that they were not having children, and she feels that at least that would have been greater. At this junction she feels because you being born and now you are going to forest is what I am going to see, then what can I say about it? So she mentions Athapi, and the only thing that makes me to live, that makes me survive is seeing your beautiful face. So every day that is the only thing that gives me life, that makes me to live. And if you are going to Vanavasam, then how can I see your face? Then what is the reason for me living? Vaya vina chandra nibhana na prabha anugrajishyami vanam tvayaiva gauhu sudurlabha vatsamiva bhikamshaya. She is mentioning that if you see a cow and a calf, when the calf is taken away from that cow, we generally say that those beings or animals don't have the sixth sense. So she is mentioning that even if the calf is taken from the cow will be rushing behind that calf, right? So that Arivilla, the cow is able to follow her child, her calf. Then me having such love and such emotions, if I don't follow you, then what is me being your mother? So anuvrajishyami vanam tvayaiva gauhu sudurlabha vatsaniva bhikamshaya. So he says, if you are going to the forest, let it be. But I will also follow along with you. I will also come along with you. And after hearing these words of Kausalya, this is the time when Lakshmana gets back to his senses. Because till now he was thinking about the happenings in Kaikeyi's kingdom, Kaikeyi's palace, where Ramachandra Prabhu at that juncture and the face and all the body language in which Ramachandra Prabhu conveyed the news, and after seeing Kausalya Devi fallen down and she is crying and she is being troubled and she is suffering, immediately Lakshmana Alvar now only gets back to his senses, and immediately he starts to shout. He is going to shout about Dasharatha and Kaikeyi. He is mentioning Nashobha Athau Imau Bhanu Nadhanuhu Bhushana Yame Nadi Bandhana Narthaya Nasharaha Sambhahe Tavaha. The news has not spread at all. There was just small conversation between Kaikeyi, Dasharatha and Ramachandra Prabhu. That's it, right? So the news has not gone out, so nobody knows it. Let me stop this conspiracy. Now itself I will stop it. No one will be knowing it. So he is telling that I will put Dasharatha in jail, I will put Kaikeyi in jail, so no problem. Let you go and do the coronation and I will take care of it. Na shobha arthau imau bhanu na dhanuhu bhushana yame. You feel that I am having this bow and arrow in my hand as just for a showcase. It's not so. It's not for a show. I really have power, and all these things are for Rama Pattabhishek. So whatever I use and whatever I see or whatever I speak on myself is everything is for Ramachandra Prabhu's Pattabhishekam, and putting Dasharatha and Kaikeyi in jail is not wrong at all. Because you are saying that it is Pitruvakya Pariparanam, and as told by father you will be going to the forest. And I feel that our father is not behaving like a father at all. Because will the father send the child to the forest? So this shows that these are not qualities of a father at all. And I think he is entirely collapsed because of the words of Kaikeyi, so that we should not take that into consideration. So that being the case, Gurorapi avaliptasya karya karyam ajanataha. If we want to respect someone that they are elders to us, they are my father or they are my mother, and if we need to respect them, then they should act accordingly. Only then we should be respecting them. Suma they will be doing whatever they want, and just if we need to respect them, means that can't be taken into consideration. So Gurorapi avaliptasya. That's what Bhagavatam also mentions. Guruna sasya, Swajanona sasya, Pitana sasya, Jananina sasya, Devamna tatsya, Patishta sasya, Namocha yedhyaha, Samupetam vritim. So, if they act like a father, then they should be respected. If they act like the mother, then they should be respected. Being in that sthanam, being in such position, and they not behaving in such a way, then why is the need, or what is there the need to accept them in such way and respect them? It is not at all needed. So he says, Guru Ravi Avaliptas, let them be Guru. Let them be so great. Let them be respectable people. Karya karyam ajanataha. That respect and that sthanam comes to them only because of the activities that they do and the way in which they behave. But if you see Dasharatha and Kaikeyi are not behaving in such a way, so they can't be considered as father or they can't be considered as the king, and they are not in their senses at all. So I feel that they can definitely be arrested. And we should not be speaking that it is fate, it has been written on my head, so I should be following. These are not words that people like us should be speaking. So immediately, if you see here, Ramachandra Prabhu doesn't overtalk what Lakshmana says. So he is having maunam here. He's not speaking at all, but he's not speaking against Lakshmana. But he is mentioning that if we act in such a way, then what is the need for me to follow Dharma and Satyam? So I have come to establish a beautiful charitram here, which is going to show us the greatness of Dharma and Satyam. And that being the case, if the people in the future, when they read about my charitram, when they read about the Ramayanam, then if they will not understand this situation that what you are speaking is Abat Dharma or Vishesha Dharma, nobody will be able to understand it. The only thing that will be highlighted is Ramachandra Prabhu didn't follow his father's words. That will only be there. But the sukshmam or the subtle things that this conversation has, no one will be able to understand it. So I don't want to be such an example to the people. I want to be a proper example, such a way that even if my father wants me to go to the forest, I accepted it. So that is what I need. So so this is the thing that I want to show, and that for that only I have made this avatar. So just for grabbing the kingdom and just ruling the kingdom, for those things I need, Ramachandra Prabhu doesn't need to be born, right? So he says, but we have to understand one thing. Always there is a conversation and there is a debate about Deivavadam and Paurushavadam. So Paurushavadam is the effort put by the human, and Deivavadam is the fate or Vidhi or Bhagavan, what is it, Kalam, whatever it may be. So there are two things. And even if you see in Sundara Kandam, this question is posed by Sita Devi to Anjaneya Swami. She is asking Anjaneya that whether Ramachandra Prabhu is making efforts to attain me, or he is just sitting that Devam will give me a proper solution for this. So Devam will be only helping us if we put the efforts. So that is the final conclusion here. But Ramachandra Prabhu doesn't want that, because he has come to establish a charitram here. So for that he says, Asankalpitamevega akasmat pravartate nivrityarabdhamarambhate nanu devam hi karmatate. You have to understand that there is Devam. If Devam wants to stop all the efforts that we have put, then it will stop. But it has that compassion to see the efforts that we have put and to bless us and to make us to attain it even faster. But if it is written in our head, then there is no way to get out of it at all. So that is written because of our earlier karmas that we have done. So stopping it is not possible, but praying and seeking the blessings of Devam or Guru, they will try and they will make to change it. So happening will be in that way, but they will give us a shelter or they will give us a shade in that issue that we are undergoing. So that is the Vidhi or the fate is also a rule of Bhagavan. And when Bhagavan is making an avataram, he is also adhering to it and he is also following it. Otherwise, he could have changed the consequences immediately when Kaikeyi has told that you should go to the forest, right? So he says, Asankalpitamevesha. But you are speaking ill about Dasharatha, you are speaking wrong about Kaikeyi Devi. But I feel that they are not like this. Because I know how they are, I know their qualities, and whenever you talk wrong about them and whenever you talk bad about them, I always get the thought of the good qualities that they have. So this is also a beautiful lesson from Ramachandra Prabhu. He shows that whatever bad or whatever ill they may have, but we must take the sarangaiva sarabhut. So he is taking the good qualities of Dasharatha and Kaikeyi and he is mentioning that they are not people like this. And yesterday you look at the enthusiasm and the happiness that our father had for coronating me as king. If you see that face of our father, then no way we can doubt him now. Because he was really ready to coronate me, and all the people of Ayodhya, each and every individual here were happy for my coronation. And now, immediately since Kaikeyi and Dasharatha has changed, we should not be speaking bad or ill about them. We have to understand one thing, that Asankalpita. So without our expectation, so without our knowledge, these people who are good, these people who have good intentions towards me and their mind is changing means, then we have to understand that these are works of fate. So you must just not always poke at them and mention they are bad, they are bad. That is not the way in which we should speak. Asankalpita mereha yet akasmat pravartate. So unknowingly it has happened. Unknowingly they have changed. Unexpectedly they have changed. Nivrityaramdhamarabdham nanu devasya karmatat. So he mentions that these are works of Devam. We have to adhere to it. No way a person can fight with Devam or Bhagavan and win over it. So this is the debate of Ramachandra Prabhu. And if you see the debate of Lakshmana, it is different. He mentions that no, we with our efforts and with our capacity, we must have that Devam in our control. That is what Lakshmana says. And finally, at the end of Ramayana, Ramachandra Prabhu is going to stand along with Lakshmana and he is also going to speak this only. But here, since he wants to establish a great charitram, he is not accepting what Lakshmana is saying. So he is mentioning at the end, Deva sampadito doshaha manushena mayajitaha. I have won over what the faults that Devam did. So if you see, Brahma has made a fault, all other devas have made a fault because they have given ghost to Ravana. And I have won over it with manushena mayajitaha. I have won over it where if you see in Ramayana, nowhere Ramachandra Prabhu used special weapons at all. In the warfare in Yuddha Kandam, nowhere Ramachandra Prabhu used. It was used by Indrajit only. And when Indrajit used it, Ramachandra Prabhu and Lakshmana gracefully accepted it and 2 times they fell. First it was on Nagapasham and next time it was because of Brahmastra. So in first instance, Garuda Bhagavan came and helped them, and the second instance, Anjaneya Swami went and brought Sanjeevani Parvata. So Ramachandra Prabhu didn't use special weapons. Finally, when he wants to eliminate Ravana, because he can be eliminated only because of Brahmastra at that time, when his charioteer Matali mentioned it, he used that Brahmastra. Otherwise, you were nowhere you can see Ramachandra Prabhu using his special abilities at all. When Sita Devi was abducted, yesterday we saw that all the devatas were accepted by Ramachandra Prabhu when Vishwamitra Maharishi gave him all the mantras. And he could have used them, right? Immediately he could have used that mantra and asked the devata to find where Sita Devi is. But nowhere he used it. So he mentions Deva Sampadito Doshaha. Though I have that capacity, though I have all the devatas under my control, nowhere he uses it. So he is mentioning Deva Sampadito Doshaha Manushena Mayajitaha. This is what Lakshmana is speaking here. So what Lakshmana says is that we should have that Devam in our control. So how can we bring that Devam in our control? So that is what happens in Bhakta Charitra. So if you see Namadeva, in front of Namadeva there was Panduranga. Panduranga was a murti there. And when you want to do Nevedanam for that murti, the quality or the quality of a Devatam is that it will just accept it. It is called the Kandarulat. We can just show him and it is only as we are eating it as prasadam. And if you see in the case of Namadeva, because of his strong bhakti and efforts that he made, he brought that Devam from its nature and it brought him outside. So that is called as Paurusham and that is what Lakshmana is speaking here. And if you see in the case of Vishwamitra Maharishi, Devam made him as a king. But with all his efforts, all his capacities, capabilities that he had, he changed from becoming made a king to a Brahmarishi. So you can change or you can control Devata because of your Satyam. You can control Devatas because of your Dharmam. You can control Devatas because of your Pativratyam. You can control Devatas because of your Tapas. You can control Devatas because of your Bhakti. So all these needs are human efforts. So that individual is somehow trying to make that Devam or what is happening to according to what he needs. So if you see the head of Perumal, he is making a Perumal to move along with him. And that is happening because of his bhakti, that is happening because of the tapas. So here we should not, Lakshmana says that we should not just sit that these are the efforts or these are the happenings because of Devam. So he is mentioning that Ramachandra Prabhu, he is mentioning that yes, we have to adhere and accept what Vidi is doing. But we can't win over it. But we can try and put the maximum efforts that need to be. But Ramchandra Prabhu here is not going to do anything because he wants to establish a beautiful charitram here, and he mentions asankalpidameveha yad akasmat pravartate nivrityarabdhamarambhat tatu natu deivasya karma tad. So Ramchandra Prabhu stops Lakshmana, and now Lakshmana Guruchindana is being shouting that don't worry, I will put Dasharatha in the jail, I will put Kaikeyi in the jail. He is not doing it at all. He is just speaking. So he is not doing it. So though he is having a particular debate on his own side and mentioning that through our efforts we should win over the happenings of fate, but he would have done it right. But he is just speaking. This is what is for the ego. So because he can't overdo here, because of he needs to adhere to what Ramchandra Prabhu feels. That is also mentioned. You are mentioning, Ramchandra Prabhu is mentioning that he should be following what his father's order are. And here Lakshmana will be only following what Ramchandra Prabhu's orders are. So that being the case, he can't overact here, right? So he could have just by mentioning, instead of mentioning, he could have immediately gone and took the Dasharatha by his collar and put him in the jail. He would have put Kaikeyi Devi in the jail. Everything would have happened, right? But he is not doing it. Because Devam is stopping it from doing, because Devam has other plans here. That Devam is Ramchandra Prabhu here for Lakshmana. So what he needs is that Ramachandra Prabhu's acceptance is what Lakshmana requires here. So Ramarukku pudikadha na avana pannita Devathaye na maathiten solradhula enna. So there is no use there at all. So he is just speaking, but he is not doing any of those things. And this conversation is heard by Kausalya Devi. And Kausalya Devi just says to Ramachandra Prabhu, just you heard what Lakshmana is mentioning. So so she is asking whether are you there to do it or not. But she knows that Ramachandra Prabhu will not be doing it. But because of her emotions, she is asking it. And since Ramachandra Prabhu is hesitant and he is not going to do that, she says that at least you do one thing. Before adhering to what your father says, the first Devata for a child is mother. So Matru Devo Bhavat. So you listen to what I say. You take me to the forest also. So she says, before fulfilling your father's promise, you fulfill my promise. I am asking you to take me along with you in that way. So mother's promise is also required, right? Mother's words are also should be adhere, right? So you adhere to it and take me to the forest. Because I can't live without you. Katham hi dhenuhu swamvatsam gachandam anugacchati aham tvam anugavishyami yatra vatsagamishyavi. Wherever the calf goes, the cow will automatically be following it. Likewise, I can't live without you, and wherever you go, I will be following you. So I will be there with you, I will not be of any disturbance or hindrance to you, but I always need to see your beautiful face. I always need to be along with you. If that is not there, then there is no reason for me to live at all. But immediately when Kausalya says this is the place where Ramachandra Prabhu makes Kausalya Devi to stay in her dharma. So she is immediately mentioning Bhaktuh Kila Marityago Drishamsaha Kevalam Striyaha Sabhavatyana Kartavyo Manasapi Vigarahitaha. From the day you got married to Dasharatha, from that day he is your Deva. So nowhere, not executing, you should not have the thought of leaving him and coming. And it is a practice of the world, and it is the practice of our Sanatana Dharma, and it is particular to our family also. Vaya Maya Cha Vaideshya Lakshmane Cha Sumitraya Pitur Niyoge Sthathavyam Yesha Dharmaha Sanatana. So it is for me, it is for you, and for Lakshmana, Sita Devi, whoever it may be. We should not contradict what our father decides. So he mentions Pitur Niyoge. So the Pitu's order, that is the father's order, is the one that need to be followed. And if we have any other suggestions or options, that can be told. But the decision maker is our father here, and our actions and results should not overdo it or should not be in a way that we are not following it. So meeri pannidakudadu, maathiyum pannidakudadu. So that being the case, he mentions Vaya Maya Cha Vaideshya Lakshmane Cha Sumitraya Pitur Niyoge Sthathavyam Yesha Dharmaha Sanatanaha. This is Sanatana Dharmam, but it is a special dharmam and an important dharmam for our family. And it is very special for me and for you. So no way we should go beyond it, no way we should try to overcome it. And when Ramachandra Prabhu is mentioning these things to Kausalya, she is filled with tears. Not that Ramachandra Prabhu is going to go to the forest. Not that she is going to be separated from Ramachandra Prabhu. This is the place where she feels that generally elders are the people who will be making us to follow dharma. But if you see in Ramayanam, here in this situation, Ayodhya Kandam, Dasharatha has left his dharma. He is sending his son to the forest. Kaikeyi has tricked Dasharatha. So true that she is also lost her following of dharma. And if you see here, Kausalya is mentioning that I will leave my husband also and come and stay along with you in the forest. In this place, Kausalya is also not following her dharma, speaking against dharma. And all these people are made to follow dharma is done by Ramachandra. So this is where she says, Yam balayasi dharmam tvam pritya cha niyamena cha savai raghava shardula dharmastvam abhirakshatu. So this is the first Mangala Shasanam that Kausalya Devi does. So from the day you are born, I think your prana, your breath is dharma only. So she is mentioning Yam palayasi dharmam tvam. So you are making all the efforts, and I feel that you will go to an extent to leave your life also for dharma. To leave your life also for dharma. So since you are so adamant and since you are so interested in following your dharma, I tell that let that dharma protect you. So you don't worry, you go to the forest. So she says, you go, you start your journey, and you don't worry which dharma you are trying to protect, which dharma you are trying to follow, that dharma will protect you. Yam palayasi dharmam tvam pritya cha niyamena cha savai raghava shardula dharmastvam abhirakshatu. And she does 3 Mangala Shasanams after this. And it is 3 Mangala Shasanams which were earlier done by 3 mothers to 3 children. So she mentions Yam Mangalam Sahasrakshe Sarvadeva Namaskrude Vritranashe Samabhavat Tatte Bhavatu Mangalam Yan Mangalam Suparnasya Vinata Kalpayat Pura Amritam Prarthayanasya Tatte Bhavatu Mangalam Trivikraman Prakramato Vishnoramita Tejasaha Yathasin Mangalam Rama Tatte Bhavatu Mangalam. First Mangalam is Mangalam done by Aditi Devi to Indra when he is going for battle with Dhritarashtra. And the second Mangalam is done by the mother of Garuda. So that is Vinata Devi does Mangala Shasanams to Garuda when he is going to get Amrutam from Devaloka. And third Mangala Shasanam is sung by same Aditi Devi to Vamana Bhagavan when he is going to bring all the wealth from Mahabali. So these are 3 Mangala Shasanams at 3 different situations by 3 mothers to 3 children. And in these 3, when she is mentioning, there is a personal touch to it also. So if you see the first one, Ramachandra Prabhu, though he is going to follow or though he is going to fulfill his father's wishes, but the priority here is Dharma Samsthapanam, that is Ravana Vadham. So the first Mangala Shasanam done by Aditi Devi to Indra regarding Vritravaram, here it is equated to Ravana's Vadham. So Kausalya is doing Mangala Shasanam to Rama, that you are going to fight a battle with Ravana, so you will have victory over him. For that is the first Mangala Shasanam. And the second one is relationship between Kaikeyi and Kausalya. So if you see, Kausalya Devi is chained by Kaikeyi now. So now she is arrested by Kaikeyi because with Kausalya Devi being there, she has done what is wanted for her. So if you see Kausalya's son, though Kausalya is being the first wife, though Kausalya is the primary Patat Rani of Dasharatha, her son is made to go to the forest by Kaikeyi Devi. So she feels that now she is under the clutches of Kaikeyi, like how Vinata Devi was under the clutches of Kadru, who is her sister also. That being the case, when Garuda Bhagavan went and brought Amritam to free her from the clutches of Kadru, likewise you go to the forest. After 14 years you return back so that you will become the king, and when you become the king, I will be coming out from the clutches of Kaikeyi. So that is the second Mangala Shasanam. And the third one is Bharata is going to rule the kingdom for 14 years. So they don't know what is going to happen in the remaining portion of Ayodhya Kanda. So now it is very evident that Kaikeyi is having a doubt in Bharata, Kausalya is having a doubt in Bharata also. So the third Mangala Shasanam is for Aditi Devi doing Mangala Shasanam to Vamana Bhagavan to get back all the riches from Mahabali, all the wealth from Mahabali. So Kausalya is meaning that you go to the forest after 14 years, you come back and you should get the kingdom back from Bharata. So for that is the third Mangala Shasana. So these are the three Mangala Shasanams that is done by Kausalya Devi to Ramachandra Prabhu, and Ramachandra Prabhu falls at the feet of Kausalya Devi, gets her blessings, and now Lakshmana and Ramachandra Prabhu are coming out from Kausalya's palace, and Ramachandra Prabhu is going to enter into Sita Devi's palace, his own palace now. And when he is entering there, he is hesitating to enter first. So he is standing in front of that palace and he is thinking about something. Why? Because initially when he was about to meet his mother, he had a lot of sorrow. But here it is not sorrow for Ramachandra Prabhu, but he feels that what Sita Devi will be thinking about Dasharatha and Kaikeyi and about himself also. So yesterday it was planned for the coronation, and today the father has changed the mind. Not just by changing his mind, he is asking the child to go to the forest also. So what will be the thoughts, or what is the way in which she will judge about her father-in-law and the second mother-in-law and Ramachandra Prabhu. So that being the case, Ramachandra Prabhu is having a fear that she will be thinking wrong about them. But he gets a clarity and he gets a confidence that she will not also. Because he has understood how great she is. So that being the case, he with some confidence and with some fear he enters. Initially it was sorrow when he is entering Kausalya's palace. Now he is having a small fear that Sita should not be thinking wrong about her father and mother. And that too it is Kaikeyi here, not Kausalya's head. So that being the case, Ramachandra Prabhu slowly enters with his head down, and Sita is seeing Ramachandra Prabhu from the balcony, and when there is no one following him, she has understood that something has happened. So from that itself she has understood, and she welcomes Ramachandra Prabhu and asks what has happened. So why you are coming alone? Why there is no one following you? So when she asks, immediately Ramachandra Prabhu answers, Kule mahati sambhute dharmanye dharmacharini Shruno janakiyedam kramena atyagatam mama. So I will tell in order. So you listen to me slowly. This is a big news. என்ன ஆச்சு தெரியுமா? 14 வருஷம் எங்க அப்பா ஜெயிலுக்கு போக சொல்லிட்டாருன்னு கத்தணும் இல்லையா? But see the slow and soft way in which Ramachandra Prabhu is telling that is not no big issue at all. He is mentioning in such a way, Kule mahati sambhute dharmanye dharmacharini. You have originated from such a great family, such a great lineage of Janaka's family. So you will understand what I am going to say. So all these things are Ramachandra Prabhu's way of conveying a bad news. So he is making preparing Sita Devi for that, and he is mentioning Kule mahati sambhute dharmanye. So she has knowledge of dharma also, and she follows dharma also, dharmacharini. And if you see her as Jagannatha, she is dharma darshini. So she will be showing us what dharma is. So that being the case, Kule mahati sambhute dharmanye dharmacharini shrunu janaki enedam kramena adyagatam mama. So let me tell you, there is a news that I need to tell to you, but that is not such a big news at all. It is a small one only. And he is mentioning Chaturdashahi varshani vastavyam dandake maya pitrate bharataschapi yauvarajye niyojitaha. So he is mentioning the same news. He is mentioning that the kingdom has been separated into two, and the forest rajyam has been given to me, and the kingdom is given to Bharata. So how many days you are going to the forest? Whether it is 1 week or 10 days or whether it is 1 month, it's not vacation, it is for 14 years. So Chaturdashahi varshani vastavyam dandake maya. He is clearly mentioning that I am going to the forest for 14 years. So he is not calling Sita, he has not given assurance that I am going to take you also. So the words of Ramachandra Prabhu are clear. Chaturdashahi varshani vastavyam dandake maya. So I am going to be there in forest for 14 years. Who is going to be the king? Pitrate bharataschapi yauvarajye niyokshati. So Bharata is going to be coronated the king, and you stay here. You are not allowed, or I am not asking you to come with me to the forest. And immediately, earlier, if you see, we were glorifying the face of Ramachandra Prabhu and his emotions and his reaction to hearing this news first. And I think that Sita Devi's way of reacting to it is even more greater. she is mentioning, yes, no problem, I am ready, let us start our journey. So that is what she says. And she says that I know this already, that will happen. How does she know? And you have to understand her way of putting the news to Ramchandra Prabhu. The way Ramchandra Prabhu conveyed was also beautiful. And look at the way Sita Devi has accepted it and the way in which she is conveying. She is mentioning that when I was young, an astrologer came to my house. So when that astrologer came, my horoscope was given to him and he told that she will go to the forest after getting married. So since that is already been told and already mentioned by that astrologer, I feel that you should fulfill his words also. So Satyavak Bhavatu Dvija. So his words should also be taken into consideration. Because he is also, I think, equivalent to somewhat your father's age or your father's experience. So that is the thing that she means. So Satyavak Bhavatu Dvija. So since I know that already, I am ready for it also. So similarly, how Ramchandra Prabhu, when he was told that he will be coronated, he was ready for that. And when he was asked to go to the forest also, he is ready. Similarly, what Sita Devi, so Chayena Anugata Sata. So she is mentioning that I want to fulfill my father's words. That is also there. So since you are going to fulfill your father's words, that you are going to the forest for 14 years, I have that responsibility of fulfilling my father's words. That is, he has mentioned that Pativrata, Mahabhaga, Chayeva, Anugata Sada. Like how a shadow follows you, she will be following you. So that way, I should follow my father's promise and my father's words, so I am also ready to take it. And immediately, she mentions, Ramachandra Prabhu mentions that no, I am not going to take it. So immediately what should Sita Devi say? That she should mention that yes, whatever you decide, that is the final thing. Because that is what Ramchandra Prabhu was speaking to Kausalya Devi. So you should listen to what your Bharta says. So that is what is the rule for Kausalya Devi means. Then the rule for Sita Devi should be following Ramachandra Prabhu. But here you see Sita Devi is not doing so. She has another reference. She is mentioning the story of Savitri Devi. So she is mentioning Dhumansena Sutam Veera Satyavantam Anuvrata Savitri Niva Mam Vidhi Vam Atma Vashavartini. I am under your control. And I will be following what you say, but not in this case. Because though it is the rule and it is the dharma of the wife to follow what the husband says, but the priority here for the wife is the well-being of the husband. So if the husband is going to, if Ramachandra Prabhu is going to live in some other kingdom, or if he is being invited to some other palace for so and so days, then Sita Devi can be here. According to what Ramachandra Prabhu says, because he is going to live there happily, he is going to live a good life there. So he is going to be, all the things, his life will be taken care there. But this is not the case here because he is going to the forest. So that being the case, then this will be escapism in the consideration of Sita Devi here. Because I myself was deciding somehow Ramachandra Prabhu himself should change his mind. And now he is mentioning that I am not needed, so that is better. I will be here, I will go to my father's place. That is not the way Sita Devi wants to show her dharmas. So she mentions like how Savitri Devi, even when Satyavan asked Savitri Devi not to come, she was destined to come with Satyavan, and she mentioned that I will definitely follow you for this day alone. So till now I have been following whatever you say, because on that day Satyavan is going to be taken by Yamadharmaraja, because that is his last day, and that was told to Savitri Devi earlier by Narada Maharshi, and from the day she came to know that not a single day she has mentioned it to Satyavan. So Irkaranal Sandoshama when she is waiting, and on that particular day when she even not abiding to what Satyavan mentioned, she followed Satyavan, and finally she has brought him back from the clutches of Yamadharmaraja. So how that is what her dharma is, because she, though that husband's dharma, husband's order she has not followed, but that is what is required here, that is what glorified in Savitri's charitra. So if you see here Sita Devi says, but that is not so here, I will follow you. Like how Savitri, because I have a reference there, Savitri Devi has done the same. So that being the case, I will definitely follow you. So immediately Ramachandra Prabhu says, Sita Dukkam Atovan. There are a lot of difficulties in the forest. So generally if you see, the life of Ramachandra Prabhu and Sita Devi is not a happy one in the forest. Generally if you see in serials or in shows, they will be showing it in a different way. But that is not so. They underwent lot of hardships there, and Ramachandra Prabhu is mentioning each and everything. He is mentioning you will not be getting proper food, you will not be getting proper place to stay. So there will be lot of wild and venomous animals that are present there. There will be lot of rakshasas. Now there are no rakshasas, now there are no forests also. But if you see in that case, there are lot of forests and lot of rakshasas at that time. And he is mentioning everything. So you will not have a proper place to stay, proper place to sleep. There will be lot of insects, there will be lot of animals. And our stay will be moving day by day. So we can't stay at a particular place for a longer time. So it is very difficult to come there. So Sita Dukkham Atovanam. So I am not ready to take you to the forest. But Sita Devi is not leaving it. She is further speaking, Patihina Tuya Nari Nasastrakshari Jivitum Kamanevam Vidhorama Vayamama Nidharshanam. So if you see, Ramchandra Prabhu is speaking two things at two different situations. When he was speaking to Kausalya Devi, he mentioned that you should not leave your husband at all. And when she is asked that, she will come to the forest. And now here he is somehow convincing Sita Devi to stay there. Because he knows what difficulties are awaiting her. And according to what Ramachandra Prabhu is hesitating here, the things are going to happen there. So she is going to undergo a lot of hardships than Ramachandra Prabhu. So, but she is not accepting it, and she is mentioning Patihina Puyanani. A wife should never leave her husband. So that is what you have taught me and you have taught me several times. So you understand and see from my heart. So see the way which I will be seen, and you are going to the forest. So and there you will not be having proper food there. And here in kingdom I will be eating several kinds and varieties of food. Is it good? Is it right? And if you are in the forest, you will not have a proper place to stay. But here I should be enjoying all the riches in the kingdom. So if you compare your stay and my stay in this kingdom, it is nowhere it is going to be good or it is going to be correct. So I pray to you that you should take me also, and I give you an assurance that I will not be of any disturbance to you. Shuddhatman prema bhavabdhi bhavishyami vikalmasha bhartaram anugachanti bhartahi paradeivatam shuddhatman. So Ramchandra Prabhu heart is so pure, prema bhavabdhi, and I know the love that you have for me. So though Ramchandra Prabhu is asking Sita Devi to stay back, but she knows that he can't live without her. And that is very evident in the final charitra where Ramachandra Prabhu makes all the efforts to obtain Sita Devi back from Lanka. He could have had a local solution there. That is, he could have returned back to Ayodhya and married some other lady. Finished. The entire story completes there. But he makes all the efforts, he makes sincere efforts to go and join forces with all the people in Kishkinda, and then he fights Ravana and brings her back. So that is what is reflected here. So Shuddhatman Prema Bhavabdhi Bhavishyami Vikalmasha Bhartaram Anugachanti. I will definitely follow you because you are my Devatam. Bhartahi Paradeivatam. And you understand and you please accept what I say, because you need to show your compassion to me, you need to show your krupai to me because of three reasons. Bhaktam Pativratam Deenam Mam Samam Sukha Dukhayo. From the day I have been given in marriage to you, from that day I should be part of your sukham and I should be part of your difficulties also. So sukham and dukkham, not only in the pleasure times, but also in the difficult times I should also be a part of you. So Samam Samam Sukha Dukhayo. And I have a confidence that when you are immediately mentioned that you should go to the forest, so the first thing that Ramchandra Prabhu should think about is that from the day before and from the day that he was mentioned, you should feel that at Mudal Nal Varikom, he was enjoying all the wealth and all the riches in the kingdom. How can a person immediately change? How can he immediately, we generally say that, right? So that is not the way in which I live, that is not the way in which I conduct my daily works. So since the place is changing, my cycle is changing, the way in which I live changing, everything is changes, right? So Ramachandra Prabhu should be mentioning that, but no way he mentions, since he is seeing both the pleasures and the sorrow in the same way. So in the same level. So she is mentioning that also, Samana Sukha Dukkhini, and we living or enjoying all the pleasures here and you struggling in the forest, it is not good at all, and that is not the way in which I should conduct my life. So ne tumarhati ka kustha. Though I say that you are my Devatam and you are the person which I should be following, I give you three reasons for that. She is mentioning Dheena, Patipratam, Bhaktam. I have been given in marriage to you, so I your wife, so I should follow you. First one. And second one is Dina, because I can't stay without you here. And the third one is Bhakta, I am your Bhakta. So if you leave out the first two options, Pativrata or Dina, the third option you should consider, because Bhagavan will always adhere to what his Bhakta says. So you leave off that state that I am a lady, you leave that off. And leave that I am your wife. So leave those two things. Don't consider those things. But the first one you need to consider is Bhakta. I am your Bhakta and I can't live without you. Tumarhadika Kustha Samana Sukha Dukhini. After Sita Devi is speaking all these things, Ramachandra Prabhu is still not convinced. So finally she felt that instead of slowly speaking to him or trying to convince him, we should raise our voice. So this is the first place where Sita Devi raises her voice to Ramachandra Prabhu because she needs to go with it. And it is beautifully told by Valmiki Bhagavan. He did not mention that out of anger she is shouting. It is mentioned that Pranayacha Abhimanacha. So the anger that Sita Devi shows, or the way in which she raised her voice, is not because of any issue or fight. It is because of the love that she has. So Pranayacha Abhimanacha, and it is Har Ramachandra Prabhu. So only to him she can speak like that. If she speaks to any other person or any other male, then that becomes wrong. So it is mentioned Pranayacha, it is because of the love, and Abhimanacha, because it is her Ramachandra Prabhu, her husband. So other than that, who will she go and speak? So Pranayacha, Abhimanacha, Parishikshepa. So just she raised her voice, it seems. Those things didn't happen. Parichikshepa, particularly he is mentioning Raghavam. Why he is mentioning Raghavam? Because it is not Yadavam. If you see in the case of Yadava, it will happen regularly. Because he has lot of families and lot of wives there. But here it is not possible. And this is the only one incident that has happened in entire Ramayana Charitra. For in 125 years of Krishna's life, it would have happened several times. But for 11,000 years of Ramachandra Prabhu's avatara, it has happened only in this situation. And that too, she has just raised her tone. Parichikshepa Raghavam Kintvam Anyata Vaidehaha Pitame Nidiladhipaha Rama Jamataram Prapya Sriyam Purusha Vigraham. Romba pesirla. She didn't shout or she didn't speak some bad or words. Those things were not there. Just she mentioned her father's name. Enga appa pera sollirka. Kintva Anyata Vaidehaha. What will my father think about you if you leave me in the Ayodhya and you go to the forest? What will my father think? And you are hesitating to take me to the forest. But you see who my father is, Vaidehaha. He is able to control an entire kingdom, and you are hesitating to take me to the forest. Because you are not able to control. Are you having a doubt that you are not able to control me in the forest? So that is what she means. Kintva Anyata Vaidehaha, is capable of ruling the entire kingdom there. And you are hesitating to take me alone to the forest. When me Pita, he is not like your father. So that is what she is meaning. My father will never do such a thing, because even when his kingdom, he was mentioned that his kingdom is burning, he was listening Atma Vidya to Yajnavalkya Maharishi. So nowhere in my kingdom there will be a politics or issue regarding ruling or regarding the who will become the next king. So those things will never happen. That too, particularly is not like your father, because yesterday he told that you will be coronated and today he is asking you to go to the forest. So my father is not like that. Pitame, if Ramachandra Prabhu definitely has something called respect and gauravam, then immediately he should have replayed it within the shlokam itself, before the first line is completed. Because in the damage both, this damage for Ramachandra Prabhu is enough. But she is further continuing, Mithila Divaha Rama Jamatara. What will my father think about his son-in-law? So in Tamil we call Jamatara as Mapillai. And generally there is a colloquial way of calling friends as Mapillai. And you know what is the meaning for that colloquial word? It is called footpit. You are mentioning, we call other friends Mapillai is to call. So that being the case, the meaning is Asadana. So without mentioning that term, she is calling Ramachandra Prabhu in that way. Rama Jamataram Prapya Striyam Purusha Vigraham. She is mentioning that I feel that my father and I felt that he has given me marriage to to a male only. But I feel that you are not that male now, I think you are a female now. Because you are hesitating to take me to the forest. This is a personal conversation that happens between a husband and wife. And it is beautifully shown in a very positive and a very happy way, without any other doubts or any other questions, by Valmiki Bhagavan. So, Kindva Anyata Vaideha Pitame Midhiladipaha Rama Jamataram Prapya Striyam Purusha Vigraham. So immediately Ramachandra Prabhu accepts, okay, you come with me to the forest, no question. And he puts it in a beautiful way. He says that for me, it is my way, it is my duty to tell you what are all the hardships that are there in the forest. And it is your duty to mention that whatever it may be, I will only be following you. So adha vanakkaladu, idha enakkaladu. So you also come with me to the forest. And immediately there is Lakshmana waiting at the gate. And immediately Ramachandra Prabhu is going and is making Lakshmana to get angry. He is putting few words in such a way that he says that Lakshmana, I am going to the forest. So you don't worry, for 14 years I will return back. And I am telling Sita Devi also. So you take care of Dasharatha, you take care of Kaikeyi Devi, you take care of Kausalya Devi. And immediately after I leave the kingdom, immediately you make sure that Bharata comes and you coronate him as the king. Now look at the way in which Lakshmana will be expressing what he did, because he didn't show any anger here. He immediately held Ramachandra Prabhu's legs. Because for him to come to the forest now, he should not shout or he should not show his anger now. What he should do is do ultimate surrender at Ramachandra Prabhu's feet, and somehow Ramachandra Prabhu should accept him to the forest. And he gives 4 reasons. And he mentions that these words and these talks are not necessary here at all. Because when the moment it was told that you should go to the forest, I am also a part of it. And you have also accepted it. So this is what Lakshmana says. And immediately Rama is having a big thought. When did I tell? Because if you see in the entire Ramayanam, all are words. So all the truth and all the dharma are followed because of the by word of mouth that has been conveyed. So immediately Ramachandra Prabhu feels that have I, by slip of my tongue, have I told that Lakshmana is also coming with me? So he is thinking in such a way, and Lakshmana gives him options. He says that when you went to the forest with Vishwamitra Maharishi, he asked only for you. So Kakapaksha Dharam Veeram Jeshtam Me Gatu Madasi. But Father sent me also along with you. So when I was not asked for at that time, why did Father send me? So that is sure that I should accompany you in this travel to forest also. And next one, when Father mentioned that you will be coronated, for the first time you met me, you mentioned that though I will be coronated, you are the king. So that being the case, if that is same for here also, then if you will be coronated as the king of the forest, then that kingdom is also for me, so I should also accompany you. And third one, when I was speaking in front of Kausalya Devi, I gave her confidence that you don't worry, whatever happens, nothing will happen to Ramachandra Prabhu, and I will be the first one who will be in front of him to protect him. And that case, you didn't contradict what I say and you accepted that. So that being the case also, I should follow you. And the fourth one is the most important one. When Ramachandra Prabhu was asking Sita Devi to stay, he mentioned that you take care of Bharata and Shatrughna as your brothers. So he is mentioning that Bhratruputra Samam Cha Api Drashtavyam Cha Visheshataha Tvaya Bharata Shatrughna. So you didn't mention my name there. So in your heart, you have already decided that I will be ready and I will be following you. So he mentions Tvaya Bharata Shatrughna Pranai Priyataro Mama. So while Lakshmana is mentioning this, his body language and the way in which he is conveying, Ramachandra Prabhu feels that it is better to take Lakshmana. If he is left back here, he himself is Amsham of Adishesha, that's it. He will guide everyone, and when Ramachandra Prabhu returns back to Ayodhya, no one will be there. So he felt this is best to take him along with him because it will be useful, definitely useful. And Alvar is mentioning that Aravadu Andu Ilayavanodu. So if you see, when two people are going to stay for 14 years, and for those 14 years, Lakshmana didn't have any hesitation in saying, or he was not bored in serving Ramachandra Prabhu, or he didn't feel that what I have been doing this for 14 years, he didn't feel any fatigue also. But for that all those 14 years, and from the day he was born and the day he went back to his divine abode, for that all those days, he showed the same love in serving Ramachandra. That is most difficult, because generally if the love increases, that is good, but generally as the time progresses and the life progresses, the relationship will get slower or it will get lower only. The love will decrease mostly. But he is mentioned, ஆறாவது அன்பு இளையவனோடு அருங்கானம் அடைந்தவனே. So the love to serve Ramachandra Prabhu has never reduced for Lakshmana at all, it seems. So he is serving in such a way, and if he is left here, that is difficult for Ramachandra Prabhu. So he should be in Rama's control always. Otherwise, even when having Ramachandra Prabhu in front, he was shouting and he was jumping in Kausalya's palace. Now if he is left and he is gone, then look at the consequences, what will happen. So Ramachandra Prabhu felt that I will take Lakshmana also. So all the three of them start their journey, and big palace is there, right? So there are lot of riches and lot of wealth and all those things are there. And when all these things are there, so what Sita Devi or Ramachandra Prabhu should have done? So they should immediately lock all the gates, all the bureaus and all the money that they have, and they should be taking the key with them to the forest, because they don't know what will happen in those 14 years, whether they will dismantle or demolish this palace, anything can happen. But you see, they are all doing charity of all the wealth that they had that was belonging to Rama and Sita. And with happy face, they were giving it to all the people who come and get it. So that being the case, a lot of charity is being done by them, and this is what Ramachandra Prabhu perfectly his dharma is. So he has already mentioned to Dasharatha that he is going to leave that to Kaikeyi, and he is again going back to meet Dasharatha, because he needs to get permission from him that whether I can take Lakshmana and Sita Devi along with me. So if you see, each one has their level of showing their dharma and their level of showing their responsibilities and the rules in which they conduct their life. But always if you see, Ramachandra Prabhu will be one step higher. Always, though it is very small, it doesn't need to be asked at all. And if you see, Dasharatha is going to mention to Ramachandra Prabhu that whomever you want to take along with you, take them also. He is going to mention it later. And if it is in such case, then entire Ayodhya will be leaving. So Ramachandra Prabhu is stopping all those things, and he is mentioning that shall I take Sita Devi and Lakshmana along with me. So for that he is coming again to meet Dasharatha, and he is standing in front of Dasharatha's palace, and he is asking Sumantra whether you go and convey the news to Dasharatha that I have come, and I am seeking his permission to enter the palace. So this has been asked by Ramachandra Prabhu. And immediately Sumantra goes in and he asks Dasharatha, and Ramachandra Prabhu is brought inside, and all the three people go and meet Dasharatha Maharaja, and immediately entire people comes to know that since they have been walking through the roads right there, generally they used to go in chariots and they come out from one palace to another palace itself. But here they are walking via the streets, and all the people are seeing that something bad has happened, something is coming to know, that everyone is coming to know it. So immediately they enter into Dasharatha's palace, and there all the queens of Dasharatha are there, all the important people in the cabinet, that is in the kingdom, all the members are there, and everyone are watching these three people entering. And Ramachandra Prabhu directly goes and does prostrations to Dasharatha, and he mentions that I am taking Sita Devi and Lakshmana along with me, because they are very much adamant and strong that they will come with me only. And I have given them permission, I am seeking yours, whether shall I take them along with me or not. And immediately Dasharatha accepts it. And immediately Dasharatha is mentioning that Rama, it is not needed that you should follow what I said. So that is not what I mentioned to Kaikeyi is not true. So you, now I order you what you should do. So I order you that you arrest me, or you arrest Kaikeyi Devi, and you should accept the throne. That is what my Pitruvakya, the Pitruvakya is, and you should only adhere to what I say now. The earlier thing that I said is not true. So when immediately Dasharatha mentions that, Ramachandra Prabhu should have used the opportunity, right? But he says that is not so. So you are mentioning that you are asking me to coordinate myself as the king, but you are hesitant to come and do coronation for me, right? So I feel that what your thought is that you need to follow your dharma and rules and regulations. But when someone questions, you will be mentioning that it is only my son has done such thing. It's not, so you are not taking the responsibility. So that being the case, I will not be like that. In this situation also, I should make you dharmatma, I should make you satyasandan, I should make you righteous and fruitful. That is what I require. So immediately Dasharatha says that it is only you who can speak like this even in this situation. So if someone is going to give us some wealth and immediately they have taken it back, so that will give us sorrow. And again, some ways it is coming back to us means we will be grabbing it with both hands, right? But at that junction also Ramachandra Prabhu is very hesitant to accept it and he is making Dasharatha to follow his dharma. So immediately Dasharatha is praising Ramachandra Prabhu. And at that moment, Kaikeyi enters in and she is mentioning that why are you creating a big fuss and a big thing that Ramachandra Prabhu is just going to be forest, right? So what is so big in it? Already in your Vamsha, one king has gone to forest. So this is not new in your Vamsha also. And immediately, Sumantra really gets angry and he shouts at Kaikeyi because she is mentioning about a king called Asamanja. And he has been pushed to the forest. तदैव वंशे सहरः ज्येष्ठपुत्रम् अनुगच्छति asamanjasamityaakhyam tatarundantum arhati. So she is mentioning that already this has happened in your kingdom. Your father has sent his son to the forest. And you sending Ramachandra Prabhu is also not new to your kingdom. So why are you feeling so much for it? And immediately Dasharatha is Tvameva Raja Dhik Iti Abhivadati. So Raja is a chichi. Why are you speaking these ugly words? You are comparing Ramachandra Prabhu with Asamanja. Asamanja and Ramachandra Prabhu, because Asamanja has done lot of adharma. So when he was young, he was taking all the newborn kids in Ayodhya and he was throwing them in Sarayu river. And for that, he was being sent out of the kingdom. And he was not brought back, he was entirely banished from the kingdom. And Kaikeyi is comparing that Asamanja with Ramachandra Prabhu. So immediately Dasharatha doesn't like it, and immediately Sumantra comes into the picture and he is shouting at Kaikeyi. And he is mentioning that it is correct that you are behaving in this way, because people like you will be behaving like this only. And your behavior is same as your mother. Because if you see, the mother of Kaikeyi Rani, Kaikeyi Raja had a special boon from a rishi, that one day when they were in their Anthapuram and they were speaking, having a personal conversation, this Raja has a capacity to hear what ants speak. He has been given that power by a rishi boon, that what ants speak. So he will be able to hear it. And when this Kaikeyi Rani and that Kaikeyi Raja were personally in their kingdom, and one day this king suddenly he laughed. So immediately that Rani was so curious to know what that news was. And immediately she asked him, so why are you laughing unnecessarily in this situation? Because for her she is not hearing what the ant is speaking. And that Raja mentioned that I can hear what ants speak, I can understand their language. And immediately she asked what did they speak now. And he mentioned that if I tell it to anyone else, then my head will get cut off. And immediately she mentioned, no, it's alright, even if your head gets cut off, that is not a problem for me. I need to know what the ants told you. And you being that queen's daughter, you will also behave in the same way. Because even Dasharatha mentioning several times that if Ramachandra Prabhu is separated from me, I will definitely lose my life. So that is my last moments. Even after mentioning it several times, you are still not changing your mind and you are asking Rama to go to the forest, right? So you are the reason for your husband's death. You are going to be the reason for your husband's death. That is what Sumantra speaks, and immediately Ramachandra Prabhu stops it. Because wherever you see, he doesn't talk ill about Kaikeyi at all. Nowhere he speaks, even in Aranya Kandam it is the same, even in Sundara Kandam it is the same, even in Yuddha Kandam it is the same. So that being the case, he respects her. So he is not encouraging these kinds of talks, and immediately Dasharatha intervenes and he says that Rama, you should not go alone. And you can take Sita Devi and Lakshmana, but I feel that if you take whatever you want from this kingdom, you can take whomever needs to follow you, they can follow you. whatever wealth and whatever pleasures you need to take from you can take also. And immediately if you see Kaikeyi's face, it becomes really small. Because she has fought a big battle for Bharata, and now everything, if Ramachandra Prabhu nods his head, then the entire Ayodhya will be, only Kaikeyi should be waiting for Bharata to return. Because the entire crowd will be following Ramachandra Prabhu, and Ramachandra Prabhu beautifully says that if a person, he is having an elephant, and he has, for some reason, he has sold it, but he is safely having the chain with which he will be tying the elephant. So will it be any useful? I have decided to leave the entire kingdom now and go to the forest for 14 years and live in an hermit as a sage rishi. And for what reason I should take the few wealths and pleasures and riches that are needed for me there? So those things are not required at all. And Ramachandra Prabhu seeks Dasharatha to give him 3 baths as a dress. So Maravuri we used to call. And immediately Kaikeyi, without any shame, she is bringing 3 dresses for Ramachandra Prabhu, Lakshmana and Sita Mata. And she immediately brings and gives them. Ramachandra Prabhu and Lakshmana wears it, and Sita Devi doesn't know how to wear it. And on her holding that 3 box dress in her hand, she is starting to cry. And she is speaking to Ramachandra Prabhu. Not that Ramachandra Prabhu has given off all his ornaments and all his costly dresses and is going to wear this tree bark now. She is feeling, because this tree bark is so hard and it is so heavy, and how Rishi Patnis and Rishis are wearing this in the forest. So Ashru Sampurna Netra Cha Dharmanya Dharmadarshini Gadadharaja Pratimam Bhartaram Idam Abravit. Even when Ramachandra Prabhu is wearing this dress, that is 3 barks, she is calling him as Gandharvaraja Pratimam. So she is mentioning that even in this costume, Ramachandra Prabhu is so beautiful, it seems, because beauty doesn't reflect because of the dress that we wear. The permanent beauty is there in Ramachandra Prabhu. So that being the case, what are the costume he wears? So what is the dress that he wears doesn't decide his beauty or his grace, right? So she is mentioning Gandharvaraja Pratimam Bhartaram Idam Abhravit Katam Chuchiram Badhnati Munayo Vanavasinaha Idihi Akushala Sita Samumoha Muhurmuhu, thinking that this dress will be very difficult to wear for Rishi Patnis in the forest. She is thinking about that and crying. And she is not able to wear it, and Ramachandra Prabhu helps her to wear it. On seeing this, the great Jnani Vasishta's eyes start to cry. So he is having tears in his eyes, and immediately he is mentioning that no problem if Ramachandra Prabhu goes to the forest. So leave that off, that is happened. But I will make Sita Devi the queen, because he is her better off. She is her better off. So that being the case, she can be made the queen. So I will make Sita Devi the queen now. And immediately will Ramachandra Prabhu accept it, or Sita Devi will accept it. But they know that all these are their emotions. Their love for Ramachandra Prabhu and Sita Devi is conveyed. So Ramachandra Prabhu feels that he should not be staying here. If he stays further, then lot of people will be mentioning lot of things, and it will further create an issue or a problem there. So that being the case, he does prostrations to Dasharatha, and he just prays to Dasharatha that you take care of my mother carefully, properly. That is what the only thing that he prays to Dasharatha. And he has already asked, told his greetings to Kausalya Devi, so he doesn't go back there, because then again it will become a big overflow of emotions there. So Ramachandra Prabhu gets Sumitra Devi's respects, and after that he is starting to leave. And Sita Devi goes to Kausalya Devi, and she does her prostrations there. And immediately Kausalya Devi is giving few advices to Sita Devi. He is mentioning that because till now you and your husband were living a sophisticated and happy, luxurious life. And now, because of the words of his father, he is going to go to the forest. And you will be adhering and undergoing lot of hardships there. But I just ask you and tell you that nowhere you talk to Ramachandra Prabhu there in the forest or about some things that is bad that will affect his heart, hurt his heart. So, because when you are happy and when you are content with a luxurious life, there won't be any fight between husband and wife. But if there are some issues or some problem, then there can be and there will be some fights or some issues, some quarrels that might happen. So, see, Kausalya Devi is mentioning to Sita Devi that to avoid those quarrels or avoid those bad conversations with him, because that will affect him and that will affect you also. And Sita Devi answers beautifully. He says that there is never a practice that I have seen or I have practiced it in my place or in this place also. Because there are two houses. She was in her house, her mother also does those things. And if you see here, Kausalya Devi, if you see, even in this situation, she is standing next to Dasharatha and she is taking care of her. So she says, even my mother and my mother-in-law have not practiced me in such ways. So you don't worry, I will not be doing those things. And in no way I will leave my husband and go. She mentions mitam datatihi pita, mitam mata, mitam sutaha, amitasya udataram, bhartaram kana pujayete. For a girl or for a lady, all the good things to the maximum extent will be done by the husband only. So mitam dadatihi pita, whether it is the father, for few portion of her life only she will be taken care by the father. Mitam bhrata, brother will also be in a very small portion. And mitam sutaha, even the child or the children will be in a very small portion and their contribution will be small. But amitasya hi datara. So it is only the bharta or the husband who is going to stay with her till the end. So amitasya hi datara, and which wife or stree will not respect such an husband. So bhartaram kana pujaye. She gives assurance and she gets the blessings of Kausalya Devi, and Lakshmana goes to Sumitra Devi and he gets her blessings, and this is the only place where a happy conversation happens. If you see in the beginning or after, there are always going to be, the conversation will be sad, this is the way in which it will happen. But the only place, the conversation between Sumitra and Lakshmana will be really beautiful. And she is mentioning to him, you are not staying right, you are going to the forest only now. That is what she is asking. She is mentioning Srashtastvam Vanavasaya Swanuraktaha Suhrujjane Kame Pramadam Makarshihi Putra Bhratari Gacchati. She is mentioning, I have given birth to you for this day only. Now, that I gave birth to you because you should be going to the forest with Ramachandra. So Srashtastvam Vanavasaya Swanurattaha Suhrujjane. Don't worry, the people who are here. Don't worry about your family, don't worry about your mother, father. Those things are not there for you. But I give you only one advice. Always you go in front of Ramachandra Prabhu and don't follow him. She mentions Rame Pramadam Makarshihi. If you go behind him, you will be mesmerized by his beauty and you will not be able to serve him properly. So you go to front level. So you won't be able to see his fake or his bad beauty, and also you can always concentrate on your service. And I mentioned you that Sumitra Gaccha Gacchedi Punaruvacha. She is having a doubt that whether if Lakshmana changes his mind, what will happen. So she said, Sumitra Gaccha Gacchedi. Don't stop. Nikka there. You keep on walking with that, I will be speaking with you. So you continue your walk. Sumitra Gaccha Gacchedi Punaruvachatam. And she mentions Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi Mam Vidhi Janakatmajam Ayodhya Matadim Vidhi Gachatata Yata Sukam. The dharmas which Ramachandra Prabhu spoke, that father is the Prathama Devata, mother is the Prathama Devata, and those things are not there for you. For you, the only Devam is Ramachandra Prabhu. So Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. So for you there is no Samanya Dharma at all. For you there is only Vishesha Dharma. So don't consider that how can I leave my father and go, or how can I leave all the lectures and pleasures here and go, or how can I leave my wife and go. Those things are not there for you, because that is there for Ramachandra Prabhu, that is there for me, that is there for Kausalya Devi. But for you those things are not there. For you Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Understand that Rama is Dasharatha for you. Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja, and Sita Devi, Sumitra Devi for you. And Ayodhya Atavi Vidhi for you. Forest is Ayodhya. So Gachatata. So you go happily. Yatha Sukham. For you there is not going to be any sorrow at all, because for 14 years what Lakshmana wanted to do for Ramachandra Prabhu, he was able to do it completely. And he is mentioning that I know the reason why you are going to the forest. It's not for Pitruvakya Paripalanam, or it is not for eliminating Ravana. Those things are there. But the primary reason is you need to enjoy some time with Sita Devi, because you have been overloaded with lot of works in the kingdom. So that is the way which he sees it. So he says, Bhavamstu Sahapaideshya Giri Samusu Ramsyate Aham Sarvam Karishyami Jagrataha Swapadaschate. So he is making a promise that I will take care of all the things that is needed for you and Sita Devi, so that you can enjoy a beautiful and happy stay in the forest. So Bhavamstu Saha Vaideshya, not alone for Ramachandra Prabhu, it is for Sita Devi also. Giri Samusu Ramsyate. So you enjoy that. And I will do everything. Aham Sarvam Karishyami. I will take care of everything. Jagrataha Swapadaschate. So when you are awake and when you are asleep also. Similarly, when I am sleeping also. So there is a special Vyakyanam here which says that if in 14 years Lakshmana didn't sleep anywhere, but somehow if he got a light sleep or if he could take some rest, in that also he will have few dreams, it seems, and that dream will also be about serving Ramachandra Prabhu only. So Jagrataha Swapadaschate. So I will enjoy myself. That is what Sumitra Devi also blesses Lakshmana. He mentions Gacha Tata Yata Sukha. And there is another meaning for this slokam. So you don't see Rama as your brother. She mentioned that Ramachandra Prabhu is your father now. And if you see, Dasharatha has another meaning called Pakshirata. So Pakshirata means Garuda Vahana. So Garuda Vahana means Narayana. So you understand Ramachandra Prabhu as Narayana. Ma means Lakshmi. So Mam Vidhi Janaka Atmaja. You understand Sita Devi as Lakshmi. And wherever they stay, that is Ayodhya. Because wherever Bhagavan is, that place becomes Vaikuntham, right? So if Bhagavan, wherever my Bhakta are doing Kirtanam, that is the place where I will be there. If Bhagavan mentions, then that place becomes Vaikuntham. So she mentions Ayodhya Matavim Vidhi. So wherever Ramachandra Prabhu and Sita Devi is, wherever Narayana and Lakshmi Virati is, that place becomes Vaikuntham. So for you, forest is Vaikuntham for you. So you go happy to the forest. And in Kamba Ramayana it is mentioned even more higher and even more better. So she says, Pinnum Pagarval Magane, Ivan Pinsel, Nambi Tambi Endru Andre. So don't consider him as your elder brother and you are his younger brother, so you are following him. That is not the way in which you should go or you should treat him. You should treat him as Adiyarin Yeval Saidi. You are not his brother, you are his servant. So whatever he instructs you or whatever he orders you, you should always follow it and you should do accordingly. Mannu Nagarti even Bandidin Va. If Ramachandra Prabhu returns back, I expect your return. If Ramachandra Prabhu doesn't return, I will not be expecting you. Adu Andrel Munnum Mudi. If it will not happen, but if there is a situation where Ramachandra Prabhu will be losing his life in the forest, I should get the news that even before Ramachandra Prabhu lost his life, Lakshmana fought for Ramachandra Prabhu and his life went first. So that is the thing I should get back. So that is what I need. So she mentions Adu Andrel Munnam Mudi Endranan Baalvidi Solanindran. So she blesses Lakshmana and all the three of them, they start their way out from the kingdom and all the people are surrounding them. And all the people are crying and shouting, Agrataha Prishtakaschapi Lambhamana Tamumukha Bashpapurna Mukha Sarve Tamuchu Grisha Dukhinaha. So all the people are shouting and crying, they are running behind Ramachandra Prabhu's chariot. So till the river, Ramachandra Prabhu is taken in his chariot, till Ganga river. So the place where Guha is present, till there, Sumantra accompanies them. So first Ramachandra Prabhu, Sita and Lakshmana get into the chariot and Sumantra is driving the chariot and all the people are shouting. Ramachandra Prabhu is asking Sumantra to drive fast because it is further if they stay, then it will be more sorrow for all the people watching it. But the people are shouting, Suta Yahi Shaneshwari, don't go fast, go slowly. So if we get one more second or one more moment to see Ramachandra Prabhu's face, we will feel that we are really blessed and fortunate, so you don't go fast. But the people are running, they are rushing, they are clinging to the chariot and all these things are happening. Sutayahi Shaneshwanaihi and few rishis come on the way of Ramachandra Prabhu and they themselves try to stop Ramachandra Prabhu from going to the forest and they give the beautiful reason that there is an entire region and entire atmosphere of love being showered on you. And you should not disrespect the love that they show. Not the people alone. They mention all the creatures and all the living beings that are in Ayodhya. They feel till this day they were thinking that they were the most blessed. Because from the day of Ramachandra Prabhu's birth, they were being able to be a part in Ayodhya. But now they feel they don't have that fortune, as Ramachandra Prabhu is going to the forest now. So they feel instead of being born in Ayodhya, they should have been born in the forest. So now forest has become more great. It is so fortunate because Ramachandra Prabhu is going to stay there. And the rishis are showing all the plants and all the trees and all the animals that are there and mentioning Bhakti Mantiha Bhutani Jangama Jangamani cha Yachamaneshu Teshutvam Bhaktim Bhakteshu Darshaya. So you see the bhakti, you see the love that all these creatures are showing towards you. So you should not disrespect that and go. So I feel that we should stay back here. But Ramachandra Prabhu will not listen to those things. But they are trying their effort to somehow stop him. And in Kamba Ramayanam, Kamba gives a beautiful example. On the day when Ramachandra Prabhu is crossing the streets of Ayodhya, there was a cat living there. Generally, cats are the most possessive among all the beings, and they have a most sadist character. So if you see the way in which a cat will hunt for a mouse, it will be very sadistic. And if you see, it will not just kill it immediately. It will run behind the mouse, it will just grab it with its nails, so it will punch it and it will again allow it to go. So again it will go and capture it. So slowly it will be enjoying the way in which it will be killing the mouse. So that is the way cat behaves. And Kamba takes that example. And there was a cat in Ayodhya that was about to give birth to a small cat, it seems. And it is pregnant. And on that day, it has given birth to that small cat. And it is scolding that small cat. It seems that the time you are born, Ramachandra Prabhu is going to the forest. I feel that you are the most unauspicious thing in this world. A cat is scolding its child, it seems. So that is the way all the beings are reacting to Ramachandra Prabhu going to the forest. And all the people are following him. And there is a Tamasa river that is going in between on the way. So all these people tried to stop Ramachandra Prabhu. Now Tamasa river is also trying to stop him. But it's not so. They come and halt there. And all the people are with Ramachandra Prabhu, right? So now he turns to those people. And he is mentioning that there is a practice. If a person or if a relative is leaving the town, it is a practice of going and sending him till the river. So after that we should return back and they will be going. So we should not be going further. So that in that case you have followed me till here. And I pray to you that what love you showed to me should be now shown to Bharata. Ya pritihi bahumanascha mai Ayodhya nivasinam mat priyartham visheshena bharate sa vidhiyatam. Till now I could see the love and affection that you show, the respect you showed to me. Now all these things should be turned towards Bharata. When any person speak like it. So you should have immediately create a conspiracy with the mob and ask the people to attack Ayodhya. If it was any other king, whether it may be in Purana or whether it may be in history, whomever it may be, no one would have reacted in this way. Now Ramachandra Prabhu is glorifying Bharata. He is asking the people to respect Bharata the same way they respected Ramachandra Prabhu. And he is speaking about Bharata's qualities to those people. Sahi Kalyana Charitraha Kaikeyi Ananda Vardhanaha Karishyati Yathavatvaha Priyani Hitani Cha. So he is mentioning that you don't worry, I assure you that he will be taking care of you, he will be protecting you, and he has a lot of good qualities. Jnana Buddho Vayobalaha Mrudu Vidya Gunanvitaha. Though he is young in age, his knowledge has no bounds. So Jnana Buddha Vayobalaha Anurupaha Savo Bharta. He will be a right protector for you and a proper protector for you. So I request all of you to show the same love, respect and affection that you had towards me to Bharata. So with that we will stop today. Ramachandra Prabhu is taking rest. near the Tamasa river. Janaki Kanta Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama Anjaneya Swami ki Jai, Sadguru Maharaj ki